Hello, and welcome to today's edition of Coffee Talk with immigration attorney Brian D. Lerner. Well, as you know, the videos that I do and have done for many years, they deal with immigration. And surprisingly, I could go on forever with the different topics. And even if they're the same topics, I could still go on because the law is constantly changing and new cases are coming out. And so, as you know, as it stands today, we are 6 days away from electing a president of the United States. And I am so pleased that since early voting began, that at least what I heard last, there was about 65 million people who have voted early. That just shatters and beats all records. And the thought and the statistics seem to be that that is good for Democrats and it is good essentially for voting for Biden. And if it continues, then come election day, all of the voter suppression efforts that Trump and the Republicans are trying to do will have much less effect. And so people are seeing that waiting in line for hours and curving like a Disneyland line all day long until you can vote is well worth trying to get Trump out of office because, minus all the other stuff, as you know, immigration is high on his list of people that he wants to attack. He has to find a scapegoat. And if you look seriously in history at people who have led countries who become fascist leaders and later dictators, it all essentially starts with scapegoating the problems of the country onto the backs of immigrants for no other reason other than it gives them a rallying cry to support their nationalism and to have somebody take the blame irrationally for what it is that they're claiming the problems of the country are. And as you know, when Trump first took office, pretty much within a week, there was the Muslim ban. And then most of that got struck down. Then he did the Muslim ban 2. And some of that got struck down. Then he did the Muslim ban 3. And we could go and on with how he has tried to not only stop and limit illegal immigration and to stop people from coming in the country, but he's tried to stop legal immigration. Just the other day, there was a ruling that his attempt to stop H-1Bs and L-1s and J-1s from coming in was reversed because they said he couldn't do it. So he essentially has tried to make the United States an island by itself without anybody else coming in and doing everything that he can do to get those people who are not in his view, the nationalist pride out. And we've seen how the abhorrent conditions of separating families, and right now there's 500 kids, the little kids that their parents have disappeared and they don't know where they are. I mean, if I was to just tell you this, what was happening, you would think I was talking about some third world country run by a dictator. You would not think it was in the United States of America. So, I could go on with this particular video about all of the anti-immigrant items and stuff that Trump has done and how he's relentless and just doesn't stop, and how case after case has to be filed, and how people are waiting in Mexico for their cases to be heard, and how he made decisions to try to get people to go to Guatemala before they could immigrate to the U.S. Just crazy items, but the net effect, the bottom line of everything he's done has been basically to destroy the asylum system, piece by piece. So anyone who realistically wants to come to the US because they're being persecuted in their own country essentially are turned away, or they have to wait so long it defeats the whole purpose of asylum in the first place. The legal immigration has been reduced considerably because of irrational decisions and because basically they do anything and everything they can to deny cases. Uh, of course, deportation, due process has essentially been thrown out the window. BIA judges have been appointed without experience in immigration law. And the bottom line is that they're trying to get everybody they can out of the country, deported without proper due process. And again, it's just shocking everything that's happening. So I think the reason that we're seeing the very large amount of voters that are waiting all day to go vote all across the country is because everybody sees the mess that we're in. And essentially, we want to go back to having America be the beacon light for the world, where people in desperation and people who are being persecuted can come in and they can apply for asylum, that our democracy isn't flushed down the toilet piece by piece by piece, that due process is again installed back into the laws, that essentially the land of America becomes again a democracy and a land of laws, not just the whim of one person and his family and the people who enable him to do everything they can to bypass the laws, get the lawsuits filed, and go over and over and over again. The country is tired of it. And so while it may not end on November 3rd, depending on how many people vote, if we can show a landslide win against Trump, then all of his lawsuits to try to get, the of course the new Supreme Court justice to vote his way will not mean anything, because it's only going to mean something if there's a dispute between who actually won. But if it's a landslide, then so what that they didn't count enough ballots in Wisconsin, or that they want to cut off the number of ballots in Michigan, or that the number and people who voted in Florida are not proper. As long as enough people vote to make it a landslide, then all of his team of lawyers that he has set up and ready to go will not make a difference. So let's keep it going. We have 6 days. Do whatever it takes to vote. And the young people, the old people, male, female, anyone who's a US citizen who's over 18, let's get out there and let's vote Trump out of office so that we can reclaim our country again. As I've said before, we as regular little people have such power with the right to vote. There's no other opportunity we have to get the right for who we want to lead us. And let's hope that we can also flip the Senate so that those people who enable Trump, who lie up and down, like Lindsey Graham and Jim Jordan, all of those people, and McConnell, let's hope that they all get out of office as well, especially how they rushed the Supreme Court nominee through. And, how when President Obama was going to put in his nomination, and McConnell said, well, it's 9 months away and we have to let the next president decide. Yet when it's only a month away here, he just jumps in and they amazingly get everything through in less than a month, while people are hungry and have unemployment, and it's been 6 months since the last relief package and they can't seem to get around to that. So I think the U.S. Is going to speak, and all of the shenanigans that the Republican Senate has done and everything Trump has done, let's hope it comes to an end and that Joe Biden brings our country together, doesn't denigrate immigrants anymore, puts the force of law back into effect, and that we don't jump down this fascist path that Trump is taking us. Okay, if you like the video, click like, subscribe. More on the coming weeks. Thank you.